Many of you know about the Hunter Biden laptop story, right? And many of you roll your eyes when you hear about it and go, ugh. And you say one of two things. Either that's been debunked, which if you think that, then you have not been paying a lot of attention, which is okay, but it was not debunked. It actually is really his laptop with really showing various forms of corruption. Some might call, considering the level of corruption in this country, in this world, some might call it light corruption, you know, $50,000 a month from an oil board in Ukraine. So what? Etc. It also showed a bunch of other unflattering things, stuff about his drug use, etc. But beyond that, and I've often said that I wouldn't even care about, like, if Hunter Biden's doing crack and sleeping with hookers, like, he's not even the one that running for office. Like, I don't care, except that when they lie to us, now I care. Now it's part of the issue. Now it's something. Or when his father is writing drug laws that fucking throw the book at anybody who uses crack, and yet Hunter is then doing that, then you got hypocrisy. Then you got elitism and a rigging of our justice system in an egregious way that should infuriate everyone. Then I care. So I hope that makes some sense. But so to create the foundation here, you might remember that right before the election, right, the Hunter Biden laptop is going to be this 11th hour, oh my God, moment, and it comes out in the New York Post, which is known for being a pile of, I was going to say dog shit, but let's go with something more creative. Lemur shit. It's a pile of nasty lemur shit. Like if a lemur had been forced to eat nothing but garbage for a week. New York Post, garbage. And lemur shit. But this article happened to be true. And it was about Hunter Biden's laptop. And it comes down. It's going to be this big bombshell thing. But it is heavily suppressed. It is covered up by not just the mainstream media. It's called Russian misinformation, but also it is not even, you can't even share it or post it on Twitter and Facebook, and it's covered up in so many ways. Well, now we know from the Twitter files, etc., that Twitter used every tool in their arsenal that they usually reserve for like people trading in pedophile porn. Stuff that they essentially never do, they use to stop the Hunter Biden laptop story from growing. That you couldn't even DM it to people within Twitter. But then on top of that, you have Joe Biden publicly saying it's Russian disinformation. He said it publicly against Donald Trump in the debate. He said that's been proven to be Russian disinformation. He said 50 heads of intelligence agencies, or not heads, 50 high-level people in intelligence agencies have said that it's Russian disinformation. But here's the truth, which has now come out. New testimony reveals Secretary Blinken and the Biden campaign behind the infamous public statement on the Hunter Biden laptop. New testimony by Mike Morrell. Now, you might know that name, former deputy director of the CIA, and he was going to be CIA director for Hillary Clinton if she had won, and one of the 51 signatories of the public statement on the Hunter Biden emails, revealed that the U.S. Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, then senior advisor to the Biden campaign, was the impetus of the public statement signed in 2020 that falsely implied the New York Post reporting about Hunter Biden was the product of Russian disinformation. So you have the actual source, Mike Morrell, of the infamous letter saying that 51 signatories of intelligence agencies, high-level ranking, high-level folks in the intelligence agencies have said this is likely Russian information, Russian disinformation. Mike Morrell wrote that, and he wrote it at the request of Tony Blinken and the Biden campaign. Now, whether Joe Biden knew, who knows? I don't know that Joe Biden knew where his car was taking him every day. I don't know that Joe Biden knew whether his pants were on forward or backwards. So whether Biden knew, that doesn't really matter a lot to me. Within 5 days of the article, the New York Post, On October 19, 2020, 51 former intelligence officials released a public statement attempting to discredit the contents of the New York Post reporting about Hunter Biden, stating that the story has all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation. News publications immediately ran with the statement, with Politico publishing a story with the conclusive headline, Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo. Dozens of former officials say. During the final presidential debate on October 22nd, then Vice President Biden cited the public statement to rebut Trump's criticism of the Biden family business dealings. So this is a major story. This is a big fucking deal. The breadth of the lying, the fact that the Biden campaign actually came to a former deputy director of the CIA and said, wait, FBI or CIA? The CIA, yeah, deputy director of the CIA, came to him and said, hey, can you, and I know they didn't phrase it like this because he said he wasn't, it was the type of thing where they were like, hey, if you happen to, write up a statement saying this is Russian disinfo, it wouldn't be looked upon unfavorably by or however they phrase this shit, the backwards. So they didn't actually ask for it, but they did. Anyway, that was sent to Mike Morell. Mike Morell then crafted this statement that is then used by the Biden campaign. This is the manufacturing of a fake reality. This is the manufacturing of a fake reality through the intelligence agencies. And this should, again, I know I say this a little too much, it should fucking infuriate everyone. I know you lose the ability to be shocked after all this. You lose, it just fades. It fades. It's only erodes like fucking waves on a beach hitting a sandcastle that says ability to be shocked across it. And it just slowly fucking, you got half the sandcastle left. And then before you know it, it's just a little rounded mound. And you hear that fucking Clinton machine was involved with Epstein and shit like that. And you just go, well, what are you going to do? But we should keep being shocked. We should keep being angry. You have to maintain that ability to be shocked and angry. Otherwise, nobody does shit. So this story it actually is pretty unbelievable. And it gets, of course, zero mainstream media coverage other than a little bit on Fox News. I hate when Fox News is the one revealing the truth about something. But, if the other networks are going to be such a shit show, then at times it happens. Fox is a shit show too, but blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes.